Friday morning, and what jumps at you, Koiki? This idea of sin bin, being postulated by IFAB, completely not run down. I was going to say run down, but completely made nonsense of by FIFA. As of last night, I think it's a ridiculous idea, to be honest.
Well, I don't want to knock it very quickly. We've seen in the past where nobody was interested in VAR. There were a lot of people against it. Now it's slowly gaining acceptance, not only in Europe but also even here in Africa. So the idea behind the sin bin is pretty simple. If a player commits a foul, instead he's asked to stay out of the game for a certain period of time, predetermined by the referee. Now that gives the one of the teams an advantage in terms of numerical numbers, and just allows them able to take advantage of that until the player is allowed back into the game. I don't want to knock it yet. I mean, we might try, we might like it. Just say we had kicking back then,
which was ridiculous.
Which at the 1993 FIFA World Cup, you remember, instead of using a throwing, we had a kicking. It was trialed. It didn't work. They binned it. Now, I don't want to be too hasty to knock this one. If we do have it, and teams can take advantage of it, and maybe even increase their excitement in the game, it's something worth looking into. But FIFA is saying very quickly that, look, if this is going to be trialed, let it be trialed at lower levels of the game, not at the elite levels of the games like the Bundesliga, the Premier League. It should be trialed at the lower levels first. If it does pass muster, then we'll begin to look at it. It's not guaranteed that FIFA will, or even IFAB will agree to it, but let it be tested at the lower levels first. So I have nothing against that.
When's the IFAB who introduced it?
I think there are too many changes they're intending on, as far as football is concerned. It's making the sport, watering down the essence of the sport in itself.
My issue with like I say, change is the only constant thing in life. And while I want to quickly jump and say I don't agree, I understand, okay, you're trying to look for new ways, but you haven't perfected the old ones you've introduced. VAR is not good enough until AFCON. We're all complaining about VAR.
VAR is only not good in the English Premier League.
Even in European, even in European football. In many,
what they use in Spain, in the Bundesliga, in Italy, is the semi-autonomous system.
Yes,
and but that's the same one that was trialed at the FIFA World Cup in Qatar 2020. We didn't have a problem with it. That's
one problem. The handball rule is another problem. You haven't perfect. Nobody even understands it yet. Nobody understands.
No, Femi, that's not the problem of VAR.
No, I'm saying that this rule is from IFAB. I'm saying that there are too many problems you haven't solved yet. Don't make it like American football or rugby. Where we're like, okay, what are we supposed to do? Football, anybody on the street can understand football. You kick a ball, you get warning, and then you're off. So the question I ask now, if you say one player goes out, what if, say, Atletico Madrid, 4 players do bad? You send 4 players out for 10 minutes.
Yes.
That's my point. What do they have left? Nothing. Yeah. And don't forget the rule about FIFA that once you get to a certain number of players, the game becomes. Exactly. So what happens? We're confusing ourselves even more. You're not going to make us enjoy the sport.
No, I don't think we are. I agree with Femi. We are making too many changes to football now. And it begins to look like we are just trying to copy everything that is American in terms of football, basketball, and all that. And I don't think I feel comfortable with that. So football has its own, it's a unique brand, and with its own unique set of rules. Then why do we need to copy what is done in others? But I don't think it's for me. Well, my initial reaction was no. Here we go again. It's nonsense to me.
All right.
It's
so
nonsense.
What else is there? There's the Access Bank Lagos City Marathon taking place this weekend in Lagos. It seems like the marathon is now a new fad because in every state now there's a marathon. I mean, Port Harcourt is planning a marathon this year.
Bayelsa is also planning a marathon.
Anambra State is planning a marathon as well.
But that's your state.
It looks, State.
That's how you know.
It looks to me like it's some sort of manner in which people are using to put money in their pockets. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
How so?
Because you hear stories like, let's use the marathon to help people see our traditional values, the beauty of the states, just some lofty
Lamba.
imagine. And I'm wondering, really? Like, really? Is that really the genuine reason for these marathons?
I think it's the effect of private involvement. I mean, let's say private individual being involved in marathon now. When you look at the organization behind this particular marathon, let me see. You're talking about just.
Besides, I'm not knocking the Access Lagos City Marathon here for those who are listening, because that's what some people are going to start thinking. I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that
disclaimer.
It's become something that everybody just is jumping on, and I'm starting to wonder what the genuine intention really is.
Now, Charles, when you look around some of this marathon, I ask who is the organizer. I mean, there's one complaint. I mean, behind some of this marathon, and it's just a constant complaint. So I do feel.
Which company is that? Because you know it, I don't know it.
No, I mean, the organizer of the marathon in most cases is Nila Management, sports management company owned by the MD and all that. So, but the point I'm making is that I like the ripple effect. I get what you're saying in terms of Nigerian trying. We have a way of taking advantage of things the idea that's supposed to be lofty, the ideas of whether sport, politics, or whatever, something that's supposed to give something back to the society. We always find a way where we find ourselves in the position of authority to take advantage of them and get something to our own pocket. But that should not defeat the essence. I mean, it should not.
What's the essence?
So exactly.
What's the essence?
Have you ever been told?
Have we improved in our
defined?
That's why I said. That's why I said when you hear these press conferences, it's all about letting people know of the beauty of the states, of the tradition of the states.
But there's also
the to be honest,
and I'm wondering.
To be honest, let's. I understand where Charles is coming from, considering the fact that in Nigeria we have a very sad penchant for, do I say, bastardizing things that exist elsewhere else in pristine conditions. Marathons are not a new phenomenon. The Berlin Marathon, the New York Marathon, the Chicago Marathon, the London Marathon, the Tokyo Marathon. These are sporting properties that have existed for decades. And the very idea behind these things was originally noble, to showcase those cities themselves. And I can tell you the figures for the New York Marathon, the Berlin Marathon, in terms of how much it brings to the economy every year is quite significant. But can you say the same thing for Lagos? We haven't seen figures, we haven't seen data, we haven't seen statistics.
Just keep pumping money.
Yeah, so begin to wonder.
Tune, you're even looking at it from a financial point. I'm looking at it from a sports point. We've been doing the Okpekpe Marathon, the Lagos Marathon. Have we got long distance runners competing at international level yet?
What does it bring to the sport?
While he waits to answer that question, Tunde Koiki took my place for the Okpekpe Marathon. Wonderful. I think it was last year. It was last year. Share your experience with us, because
Charles, I can't share this on air.
No.
I can't. I honestly can't.
Share your experience with us, because when they talk about the beauty of the states, of the town, and the culture, how much of that did you see?
Well, to be honest, in terms of the topography of the place, it's actually quite intense. There's one point in the race itself.
No, what I'm saying is, how many tourists has the Okpekpe Marathon or distance race?
Well, in terms of
actually brought,
how many Bature did I see? I only saw one, and it was actually it was actually an official of World Athletics who actually came to officially ensure that the course was the exact stated length. Cameron Norrie, I think his name. I think it was an Irishman. That's the only person that I saw. But in terms of other tourists, I can't tell. I honestly can't tell. But in terms of the race itself, it was really quite a spectacle. There's one part of the course that is, I think, 2 kilometers uphill.
Wow.
You have to have iron lungs to scale that. I've seen Okadas, cars, naming SUVs struggling, grunting to climb up that hill. Now talk about human beings trying to do that. There were also some skaters who actually surmounted that hill. It was quite a spectacle, to be honest. And I think there's not been enough marketing in terms of showing the beauty of Okpekpe as well. The roads to the event are completely terrible. terrible. We spent probably 2 times or 3 times the duration that we should have in order to get there. So that's another thing that needs to be looked into.
So what's the showcase? Because that's always the story. That's the bottom line.
Yes,
that's what I'm referring to.
The edible land of Edo State, the wonderful welcoming people. There was fresh palm wine and bushmeat, by the way, in case you're interested.
I think for quick, maybe that's the reason, but I was opportune to be at one of the marathons in Ogun State. I think Jebu, when I was the last 2 years ago, at the press conference, when this question was asked about what's the whole idea behind this marathon that we're having all around. So I think the idea was to, Nigeria, we don't have that culture of long distance race, as Femi rightly alluded to. But the organizers said they were trying to bring that culture to make us so that we can produce distance runners at the Olympic and all that.
So how many have we? So how many?
And the question I ask again is that how effective,
apart from Abbas Mohammed of many years ago, which other distance runner do we know? Of note, do we know?
Because in most cases, who've
competed on the international stage and made some kind of mark.
Most of these marathons, at the end of the day, are even won by foreigners.
Of course, that's going to happen. That's going to happen because
let's be honest now. I mean, the Rome Marathon, I don't think how many Italians have won it. The Berlin Marathon, how many Germans have won?
Exactly, that's going to happen.
The New York Marathon, how many Americans have won?
It's not about winning. It's about us getting a pool, of athletes that we can always draw from. Sorry, just to comment. The athletics events you covered, or you participated, or you had some form of involvement in Abuja.
Yeah.
It was short distance.
Yes,
right, because that's our strength. So
God bless you, fam. That's exactly what I'm coming to. Physiologically, West Africans, by nature of our physical makeup, we're not built to run long distances. We have tremendous muscle mass, which buns oxygen very quickly. But you look at the East Africans; they live in high altitude areas. They are long, lean, rangy. You look at the female,
but we have the Mambila Plateau.
Nah, the Mambila Plateau is child's play compared to some of the mountains ranges in Eldoret alone. That is kids play. So that's, you look at it, it's not possible. The female of some of these athletes, I swear, is probably as long as you. These are people who are built physiologically. Their DNA is built is contributes to their performance in such a way that you and I or anyone in Nigeria can never match them. You will never find a Nigerian in the top 10 of the Access Bank City Marathon. Not be swear. It's a fact.
Okay. Okay.
We have predictions to make today. Fortune and David, the last 2 predictions for the last 2 games.
Okay, so Fortune and David, you're listening. Prediction for the Nigeria Cote d'Ivoire game and the Congo-South Africa game. So please send them across, yes. Tunde, what's been your perception of the AFCON so far?
Magnificent. Absolutely stunning. A true spectacle. I've enjoyed every single game. Even the goalless draws were entertaining.
Who's been your best player all round?
Difficult question.
That's a tough question. But if you're talking about in terms of the Nigerian national team,
no, not Nigeria. The whole tournament in itself.
So far,
yeah.
Whew.
That's a tough one.
I think there's one, and he's actually Nigerian.
Yeah.
William Troost-Ekong. He's been. I think of him, and I'm thinking 300 Spartans at Thermopylae, King Leonidas. He's been absolutely amazing. I'm getting goosebumps just remembering him. He hasn't put a foot wrong, has led from the back tremendously, has scored 2 goals, has been vocal, has been upfront, has been brave, has stuck in his head and his limbs where least expected. My player of the tournament has to be William Troost-Ekong. And it's not easy for a central defender to win, the major award that the last I can remember was probably Fabio Cannavaro at the World Cup in 2006.
Isn't it amazing, unless my memory serves me wrongly, but Man of the Match award?
Man of the Match award.
None.
Which actually
is weird.
It's surprising.
He's won one.
He's won one.
Unfortunately,
I'm going to get the game. He's won
one. I played my own amateur days. I played as a central defender and a defensive midfielder. And I can tell, as a matter of fact, nobody sees what defenders do. It is always the goal scorers or the people who prevent goals, like goalkeepers, who really get these awards. But defending itself is an incredible art. Some call it the dark arts, but it is an art itself. The ability to stop, a fine, fearsome striker from getting onto goal is an art in itself. And I don't think defenders get their just due.
I know we can show appreciation for the defense line of the Super Eagles.
All of them.
Yes. Before the tournament, it was a sore point. Yes, the defense line, the goalkeeping area, but that's been solved presumably by the manager. But still staying with you, you talk about players that we don't see in the course of a game, and Frank Onyeka readily comes to mind for me.
Oh yes.
I mean, he's a player who's underrated, underappreciated by Nigerians who just always seem to watch only the flair.
So that's the thing about Nigeria.
Of football.
Goal scorers, the dribblers, the quick wingers, the people who do the dirty work in the middle. Like Frank Onyeka, like you rightly said, they deserve just as much commendation. He's been like a vacuum cleaner. Just basically just mopping up everything, stopping play, breaking up attacks. But another player who I give tremendous credit because he's been played out of position and his attacking instincts have been dulled. But despite that, he's shown tremendous physical presence. He's shown spatial awareness. He's shown tremendous concentration as well. Alex Iwobi, I never for one thought that he was capable of playing in a central midfield partnership alongside another player. He's an attacker. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But he's had to stifle those attacking instincts and played a very defensive but very disciplined role. And a lot of people actually do. Some people came for me on Twitter early this during the Nations Cup when I name checked, it would be that his instincts, he seems to have regressed. I was talking about the fact that when he gets to the final third, he cannot give the final pass or beat the man to score. But then was an excellent coach, Coach Ayere, who's actually been on Twitter as well, who actually told me that, look, you cannot give what you do not have. It is not easy to run from deep and still be effective in the final third, which is what Alex Iwobi cannot do. But the little that he does, he has done superbly. I cannot fault a single thing he has done.
Okay, we'll just ask you to hold your thoughts. Your messages have come through as well. We can see the lines also buzzing. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll answer your questions, take your comments right after this. You are listening to Sports Zone live on Lagos Talks 91.3. Let's quickly take your messages and some calls.
Okay. In our usual fashion, we're starting off from the start. Wilson says, Sports Zone, please, can you use space on X when Southeast can join the Sports Zone, please? Okay, Wilson, we'll work on it. We'll get back to you on it. Don't worry. We've also got this. Good morning, Lagos Talks. Charles, African teams can do well at the World Cup if we have a semblance of officiating at AFCON at the World Cup. I
disagree with that. The officiating at the FIFA World Cup, the last edition was spectacular.
It was very
spectacular, good. So.
Alex from Okota says, I want to ask, do we have our own local refs, VAR officials, commentators in this AFCON? I mean, Nigerian officials.
No.
We have a Nigerian commentator, Daniel Amokachi.
Color commentator from the
Troost-Ekong says, comparing Charles's optimism about African team success in the upcoming World Cup to Gary Neville and Roy Keane's recent suspicion of doping among certain European teams for top-level performance. I'm curious if such factors could be influencing Africa's relatively lower performance in global events thus far. Nobody has been caught, so you can't prove it beyond reasonable doubt. Good morning, Spurs. This is Ademola from Idumu. Lagos to Accra is 12 hours, luxurious bus, and 9 to 7 hours jet bus. Lagos to Semeboda, Ilakoji border, and
to Aflao border.
I go to Accra steady.
Aflao. There's no P there. No?
Yeah, that's how it's pronounced. It's
okay.
Aflao. We the indigenous people.
All right, no vex.
He's always getting this one saying, Idris, don't forget recently Charles visited the big boys at the National Assembly, so he's no longer on our level. Oh yeah, Charlie, let the poor breed. Don't suffocate us. But he has a point. You went to the National Assembly.
I went there to do a job.
You went to see your friends.
I went to do a job.
You went to see your friends.
Okay, is there anything wrong in having friends in the National Assembly?
No.
Is it a sin? Is it a sin?
But you're not one of us.
Right?
It's not a sin, no.
I've never met a senator.
When you don't admit
Is it not some people that have?
I've never met a senator.
Is it not some people that have the personal number of our president? Am I too small to have his number?
No, you paid your due.
I can get his number.
There was this skit
You have his
on
number.
social media when they were asking who's the most popular person you have on your most popular contact on your phone list.
My mom. My mom.
It's popular to him.
I kept thinking, I said, what I get from my own list.
If something happens to me today, the first person that I will call is my wife or my mom. I'm not going to call some guy at the National Assembly.
Will you call Femi Family?
How?
I'm when they pick phone. I'm when they pick phone.
I'm always on the road driving, so there's no time to pick calls.
Why? What's your side hustle?
What can I say, driver? Anthony Kenny Williams says, good morning, guys. I live in Badagry. I've lived here for more than 14 years. The road 3 years ago was very bad. I slept on the road due to its bad state. Now I tell you for free, it's good. I wish Nigeria all the best on Sunday. I no go watch the match. I don't want to die early. A couple of more messages. Michael from Magboro says, good morning, Sports Zone. Congratulations on winning of the Super Eagles again, and we hope they seal it for us by winning the trophy on Sunday by God's grace. Amen. Mr. Charles, sincerely, Mrs. Oken is right. The Super Eagles gave joy to Nigerians on Thursday. People died, I guess, because of underlying health issues. For real, apart from HPP, it's unfortunate. Really, RIP to them. Eagles, please win the cup for them. One more message before I go to phone calls. Richie from Victoria Island says, love you guys, Mom, but Agri Road now is better and you would enjoy your journey to Benin and other parts. Oga Charles, there was celebration on that day Super Eagles won. I had to stay back at VI, and after the match, come and see happiness. Wow, for a long time, we have not seen this kind of thing. It was so joyful. Many people declared a lot of things that day. Drinks, foods, and happiness.
That happiness, was it because we got to the finals? Or was it because we beat SA? Which one?
No, because we got to the final. Because we got to the final. It doesn't matter who we beat. Even if we are beating Burundi.
I think it was more about defeating SA than anything else.
I don't. People lost hope at some point. We've lost this match. So having that victory.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hello?
Good morning, we can hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Charles.
Good morning.
Good morning, Charles. Good morning, everybody in the studio.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Tokwe Fuwe.
Tokwe, how no?
I'm fine.
Okay, what's on your mind?
I want to comment on you asked a question about the most outstanding player, at the tournament. I think personally, I have to give it to the coach because
to the coach.
The last time we had anything that that looks like an identity was in 2013, and this guy has been able to put the ingredients together, and then we should really commend him. He has really done well, and sadly I never liked him. I don't even see him as a good coach, but we should learn to give credit to whom credit is due.
Absolutely,
well,
absolutely,
and it shows. He has something upstairs, and I must commend him.
Absolutely,
he has done well, and I pray that the Super Eagles will win the cup, and bring it home at the end of the day.
All right, thank you so much, Stopper, for your call. Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay. Good morning, guys. Great show always. Up Super Eagles. Ivory Coast will be like having Gary with chilled ice water.
I better watch this Ivory Coast now.
He says them go chop him in Femi's words.
Femi said, no, calming down. Even Femi no be chop am this morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Shimolafe.
Mr. Olafe, how are you?
So fine, thank you very much. You don't watch your statement. The moment like me, since 1994, at basically, I won't tell lies. We start and see what is happening to you. I have people. Since that time, if I enter, I'll see my wife tired.
And that one I hear.
I don't. When the penalty happened, I just order for another drink bottle again. If that before, I can't take anything. I won't tell lie to you.
Okay.
So we need to put ourselves down. All these people that they're dead, that is their time. Not what the Quran said. So that is that. Me, I don't believe in hypertension or those things. I do my blood everything. I bought the machine.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You are a captain, but I'm trying
Okay.
to insist you. I want to insist you.
All right.
All right, Mr. Olafe. Thank you so much for calling. Okay.
David, you only sent in one prediction, so I'm getting you avoiding the second one. You sent in Nigeria.
Avoid him because you have.
Yes, I'm planning to avoid.
If he doesn't send in a second one, that means he's not voting. So that's a -1.
Yes.
That's already a -1.
Yes.
Yes. If you don't vote, it's a minus. Yes. Yes. If you don't vote, it's a minus. Yes.
What is the meaning of this?
Yes.
I agree.
No, because I don't want to.
No, if you don't vote,
your
it's a
points.
minus.
I have
It's a
enough
minus.
points. Don't worry, I have enough points. I'm not confident. I have enough points. I can't be at the top of the food chain and be worried. All right, so let's go. It's okay.
Ladies first.
I don't like the idea of this thing you put on.
picked Nigeria for you, but I know you keep saying that.
Of course, Nigeria to win. South Africa to win.
If you want to be a part of us, first off, follow us across all social media pages at Lagos Talks 913 is our handle. And of course, kindly like, share, subscribe, and make sure you're a part of the Lagos Talks family.